I can't believe this man has the audacity to think that I know what is cool and what is trending. And I'm talking about the joke that we texted each other that you told me pause when I was talking to you about something serious,
Oh,
which is
yes.
about setting up for this podcast. Explain what you did.
Um, if most people know what pause means, if you say something that's just a little like, whoa, what'd you just say?
And where'd you get that from? Like where was that trending from?
Culture?
What
Like high
culture?
school? Like, if you say like, yo,
High
man,
school. You're older than I am.
what do you, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, hey, that was really deep. Pause. Like, that sounds inappropriate. So
No. So I'm gonna go to the receipts of what was said with this guy. And it was so, hold on, give me a second
I
because I
probably
have
say
to
something
pull it
like,
up.
it's really not that deep. Pause.
What do you mean it's not that deep?
That's just a setup for what that means. I'm sipping on
Anyway,
Irish whiskey right now.
the message goes, I was asking him for his mic and that I needed a stand. So I said, oh, I'm only asking if that can be attached to something. And then he goes, I think it could, but I have to see what the bottom looks like. And I said, okay. And then he said, pause. And then I replied, still being serious, because I have multiple stands. And then I have my red receipts on, and you read what I said. And then this guy left me on red for 5 hours. And I said, what the heck? And I texted him back and I said, I've been paused for over 5 hours. And then you thought that was funny. And you're like, that's not what I meant to actually pause.
Yeah, I wasn't pausing the conversation. I was definitively just saying pause after my original message. I had no intention of responding after that.
So you didn't want to text me back?
I got caught up, man, in the moment. It just happens
And
sometimes.
that's okay. And I forgive Elijah because I actually took it verbatim when he said pause. And I said, oh, wow, he's actually really busy. He
Maybe
needs
if
to
I
figure
said
out what he's doing in life.
maybe if I said time out, I could see that making
Or you could
sense.
say, just give me a second.
Hey,
Hold
I'll be
on.
right back. But then I sent that message to Tony and he was like, Marilyn, you don't know what pause means?
And once again, why would I know what pause means? And then you sent, what did you send? Was that Kanye?
Yeah, can you curse on this?
Yeah, you can, of course.
It's just a random video, and he's just like, going off on a rant as he tends to do, I guess. And he's like, "Fuck my face." Pause. Wait, hold on. That sounded weird. Pause. And that's just the example of why.
So that's where it came from. So Kanye started it?
No.
I personally hate cancel culture in all those aspects. In the sense, like with comedians too. Like if they say something that's pretty funny,
Man, I'm sweating already.
why are you sweating? Do you like cancel culture?
Oh no, I don't like cancel culture, but this is a really embarrassing story. But Mackenzie has a recording of me saying some very
I'm gonna tell her to send it to me right
yeah,
now.
she probably could. I think this was in a point in my life where I was such a Kanye fan, and I still am a fan of his music. I mean, like Graduation, it's really hard to like not listen to that album. And I think they were recording. I don't know why they were recording me, man. They were using this as blackmail, and I was like, Kanye would have to like kill my family for me to like not listen to him anymore.
Oh my God.
I'm just giving it away, but there's a recording of me saying that, and
That's a pretty intense thing to say too.
yeah, people might not fuck with me after this anymore, but that's fine. That's okay. I will still listen to Graduation. Actually, I'll one up that story even more.
Okay.
Um, dating in New York is really fun and interesting, and you meet a lot of like just unique people, and
How unique are we talking about?
just incredibly wonderful, weird, quirky, unique. Like I don't
Is
know.
that what you like, Elijah? You like weird and
I
quirky?
absolutely adore quirky women and guys.
What?
Um, yeah, we're moving on. And so I went out with a girl like a while back, and she was like, "I'm going to ask you a very important question. This is probably my most serious question I'm going to ask you.
This is a girl that you were talking to at the time?
I'm not going to disclose that information."
Okay.
And this happened.
I'll figure out later. Don't worry.
And she said, Kanye West, how do you feel about him? And she's like lighting a joint, looking into my soul as she's asking this question. And I'm like,
Okay.
how do you feel about Kanye West? And
Uh-huh.
yeah, I just answered truthfully, which is like, yeah, the guy's insane, but like, I really love 808s and Heartbreak and Graduation and those albums, man. Like they were great.
They were great.
And it turns out she was like, yeah, like I like those records a lot.
But does she like Kanye or did she not?
I think she feels similar to cancel culture, but I could be putting words in the mouth right now because I was, that was a while ago and I don't remember everything to the detail. But
Right.
I think we came to like an agreement of like, yeah, he's insane. Don't agree with what he's saying. It's kind of terrible, but also like,
Do you think it's because it's the way we grew up? Because, like,
yeah.
we've heard the F word, the N word, and then blah, blah, blah. But again, me, in the sense of being, I feel like I was more of a fly on the wall in those conversations while growing up. But
Hmm.
every time I heard someone saying a story and they added those words in there, I just thought it made it 10 times funnier. No feelings were hurt. At least I don't think they were hurt. And if they were hurt, I feel like that person maybe would have said something at the time. I don't know. That's just me and how I realized growing up in those types of groups. What about
those
you?
those are like, I think there are certain like nuances and elements like in like comedic tactics because like stuff has to do with like delivery, the
Right.
timing of stuff. And so when a
Which, by
comedian,
the way, this was a lot more like guys type of humor.
oh, yeah, of course it was, it had to have been, like, and that's just like locker room talk and like
Right.
it was the time that we kind of grew up and as the internet was developing and became a thing and people had access to it, like you felt like you could say anything and get away with it and you could like
And
you
I feel like they're still doing that too. You have your famous comedians like Shane Gillis. I was just telling actually Patrick and Tony about the podcast that I recently discovered, which is Bad Friends. I don't know if you've heard of it. Have
no.
you? It's super funny. It's two comedians. You got Bobby Lee and then Andrew. I forgot his last name. Sorry. But they're so funny and they keep those jokes still, like saying all those names. They love all the stereotypical jokes. Like one's Asian, then he's like, "Oh, you used to eat cats for dinner," blah blah
Oh
blah,
my
and
god.
then the other one's like, "Yeah, well, you're a fucking ginger, so there's I don't know random
I feel
stories
like
about
with people
gingers."
that you're comfortable doing that stuff with, you can get away with it. And I'm not gonna ever make like racist jokes like that just for obvious reasons, and I don't really agree
No,
with
don't
it.
do it to a stranger, obviously, or don't do it to
Or
like a
even to friends,
coworker. Definitely not a coworker because obviously HR, but even to friends, you were saying.
yeah, I'd feel like that time is like a different time period, and you kind of evolve and change as a person. But every now and then, it happens with like a few friends, and it's like friends I've known forever. And normally we're talking shit about like ourselves, like Hispanic or Latino people, which is like in a own way, like self-deprecating humor is like funny and my thing. Like I'll talk about like, oh, I
Well,
suck at this, and
Hispanics
that.
like diss on other Hispanics too.
Yeah,
It's
we're
just a
always at
thing.
war with each other. We're never in union, and
What's your background again, Elijah?
I'm Peruvian and Brazilian.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But one time, uh, one of my friends, who I will not name because I just,
I'll find out later. Don't worry.
that's in your tagline,
I'll
I'll
find
find
out
out
later.
later.
Don't worry.
You'll know who it is. But we were in this group chat, and he was just like, "Man, like, you know what? I don't understand. Like, why is it so difficult for like Hispanics to like
Love
know how
each
to
other.
pay. There's
Oh,
always a long ass line at
pay.
Walmart, and it's like they don't know how to work the machine, like the tap, chip, whatever. And it's like you paid here last week when you were here at Walmart shopping. Like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
what's different about the pay structure today? And it's just like,
Well, some people aren't tech savvy. Like I understand.
and it's just
I
like we
understand if they're
Hispanics get
older.
grouped into like the text, like we're technically challenged or something, and it's like hilarious because
They just
my
need some
aunt,
guidance. They need some love.
yeah, they need some patience and grace. But my aunt was like, "How do I connect to the Wi-Fi?" And I'm like, "Damn, like
What would
what?
you do if you were by yourself?
Yeah, like what do you mean? How do you connect to the Wi-Fi? How have you done this in the past?" But I'm allowed to talk shit about myself. And my dad also is like, "Oh, Brazilians," and I'm like, "I get you.
What does he say about Brazilians?
Oh man, what can we say about
Oh,
Brazilians?"
you've said this as well to other Brazilians?
No, I love Brazilians, but also like sometimes they're just kind of like I think a lot of Hispanics that come here are like Latinos can be like a little
Arrogant?
entitled.
Okay. I mean, that's a lot of people here in the US, especially
Actually,
in
oh, you know
Florida.
what? Actually, white people are mad entitled. What am I talking about?
What?
White people
We're
think
going back
they
to the jokes. I'm telling you, they are not dead. Let them live and let them continue. But all I'm
white people were
saying,
looking at me kinda different today when I was
white
going for a
people
walk, yeah.
here
Yeah, in my neighborhood, I
in
was
Lake
just
Nona,
yeah, they were like, "You never saw someone
there's so
walk
many
in the neighborhood?"
Venezuelans here in Lake Nona. What are you talking about?
There are?
Yes,
Oh god.
a lot of them live here.
Marilyn, you're gonna get me canceled.
It's okay. And that's why I hate the cancel culture. I hope we still stick to our original jokes. And people, if they're just sensitive, they're sensitive and they just need to learn how to like talk it out. And I feel like that's another thing that people don't know how to do is talking out their emotions or if something does, you know, offend them or whatever. I feel like they need to learn more like that awareness and then take it to that person. I don't know. I feel like as I'm growing up and I have these different opportunities in work and I'm working with all different types of backgrounds, all ages, I'm noticing even at the workplace, they have a hard time communicating in what they want to communicate. Like they
Mhm.
let that anger kick in and like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are just so caught up in how what the title is and what the look can be and then they just end up becoming someone who I feel is kind of ugly in my opinion.
That's fair, that's a
You
fair
don't
I feel like
experience
you're
that either?
thinking about someone specific,
You
but
don't know who I'm thinking about.
I don't, but I'll find out later.
You can't steal my slogan either, that's mine.
Um, I don't know what I would say all about
This could
cancel
be in
culture.
work
If you were
and
to
outside of work,
if
though.
this is a clip that you're gonna keep and, like, because I said context will be taken out and, like, like, you're gonna take my words out of context. Obviously, I'm joking, I don't really give a fuck about any of that shit of what I was just talking about and joking with. Like, I feel like in the truth of it, like, cancel culture is toxic and bad because it's not
People don't know their
allowing
emotions.
it's not even about the emotion thing. To me, it's more about, like, you're not allowing the other person to be, like, held accountable, but still
But you're saying it
like,
more
you're
they're
holding
actually being mean.
right, yeah, like, it's not even that you're holding this person accountable, it's like you're terminating anything that they can think, say, or do moving forward because of something that they did or said without knowing better.
Mm,
Mainly, I feel like it's more about what they said, kind of, because I feel like actions are a lot more like you think out your actions. Like
right.
people that get canceled for like
Well, I hope a
sexual
lot of people
assault
think
and
out
then
their actions,
allegations and
yeah,
things like that, I feel like that's a lot more serious and should be taken serious.
of course.
But for people and comedians or whatever have said things that without knowing better and slurs back in the day were like things that like everyone has probably said,
Right.
you know, jokingly and everything, and it's just like you're kids, you don't know any better, and then
I
it's like
wonder how they're gonna grow up, like, that this new generation
I
and
feel like the new
what's
generation is it's a good thing because it's like we're being more mindful and like empathetic about like how we should be treating people, but
right.
there are I think there
But
is a
they have a lot
degree
more access to the internet and seeing what's trending, what's being said, and,
yeah.
videos that maybe they shouldn't be seeing at a young age, which is another thing I learned a lot apparently in high school or whatever. I feel like there were videos out there that I learned this year that even on Reddit, they have, like, crazy videos of, like, violent things, and I was never exposed to that in high school, and now I feel like with these kids growing up and them having such it depends on their household, but them having their own tablets and they know how the internet works and whatever they search, I just wonder to go back in time in someone's and let's say my cousin Sophia. I wonder if I was in her little brain. I want to see what she's seeing.
I don't know, maybe just like
You think they're gonna grow up being nice to each other? No, bullies will still be bullies.
I don't know. I think that the world works in a weird way where like there's progress, but then there also really isn't. Like
Mhm.
even like the political climate, like there's progress over the last decades of like women being able to vote and like Roe versus Wade,
Oh,
but
you're taking it back.
yeah, but also like look at how that progress can get undone so quickly too. Like
Mhm.
it's kind of like this one step forward, two step back thing. And connecting that with like the Gen Z, like they're learning how to communicate better. They're learning how to like address their emotions more and like to kind of
That they are.
feel what they're thinking and like allow themselves to feel period and talk about it versus like other generations. there's still like things that are happening in our world that like are delaying it or pushing it further backwards, I think, in a way.
Well, I hope they end up having a great childhood, considering how a lot of them are, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not, oh, that they're being like, they're privileged. Again, of course, the kids that I feel like are
There are
at a
definitely a
good,
lot of privileged people. I feel like we're privileged too. Like we work hard for our stuff, but we're like in a privileged position, you know?
well, we are. Thank goodness.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm super blessed.
Yes, you are, Elijah. You are super blessed. So, going back now to you, how is New York treating you? You are here with us because he loves me so much that he flew from New York to come here to Florida to do this episode.
I need another drink.
Nah, just kidding. He came here to celebrate his family.
Yeah, I'm here for my dad's 50th birthday. My dad is a funny guy, and New York is amazing. I feel like if you're still in Florida, you should leave.
No,
Yeah, sell your house,
no,
sell your condos,
absolutely
get a
not.
fucking life and
Absolutely
experience the
not.
thrill and adrenaline of New York.
We have life here, sir.
That's boring. You just
What
sound like
you?
all those other
It's
fucking
because you were
suburban
born
people
and
around.
raised here in Orlando. I
I
was.
was not born in
Oh,
Orlando.
you weren't. You where were you born
I
in
was born in
Queens?
Queens, New York, in the St. John's Hospital. Me and my other Virgo friend Christine actually were born in the same hospital.
You and your Virgo
Yeah, I'm friends
astrology.
with a lot of Earth signs. Galvin's an Earth sign. He's a Virgo. Christine's a Virgo. You're a Virgo.
Can I share a story about this
You don't give a
astrology
shit
thing?
about astrology. And
I.
you know
This
what's
is
so
true.
funny?
What's so funny?
Tony, your fiance, is a Capricorn, and my other good friend, best friend, Christine, is a Taurus, whose fiance is also a Capricorn, Hector. Both of them,
Don't believe in it
yeah, they're like, this is bullshit. And I'm like,
because
exactly.
it's so generic.
It's
That's
exact.
why.
That's exactly what a Capricorn would believe.
Okay, well, don't come after me because I'm saying this, but I will share a story that there was a time that we went on a double date, right? Me, Tony, Elijah, and this person.
Oh,
We went
Naira,
no, I'm not
Ashley.
saying names. Okay, you said the name. So
Oh,
yes, with Ashley.
oh, okay.
So we went out on a double date, and I don't know how this came into the conversation about astrology. Someone said something like, I feel like she had asked me a question. I think, I don't know. But I remember that I had said, oh, yeah, oh, no, I remember now. We were messing with her because she asked Tony, like, oh, what's your sign? And then Tony, being silly, he's like, oh, I'm a Gemini. And then she's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And then me and Tony start laughing and we're like, oh no, she's believing it. Like, you have to tell her the truth.
I don't remember
I'm going to
this.
explain it to you. We're going to go back in time. He goes, actually, no, I'm a whatever. I'm going to make something up, a Pisces or whatever. And then she's like, oh, okay, you messed with me, but that I can see it now. So then the third time he ended up saying like, no, I'm a Capricorn or whatever. And then I go in and I said, oh, we just don't believe in the astrology stuff. Like we don't really care for it. We don't like it. And then she straight up goes to me, I kid you not. She said, well, you know what? Astrology doesn't like you. And I was like, oh my goodness, this was pretty aggressive. You don't remember that?
I don't, but she had to have been joking. Ashley,
That did not feel like a joke, but now you obviously know her better than I
Ashley
do.
is the goat X, to be honest with you. I would
Then
say
shout
it
out
right
to
now.
Ashley. I'm happy that she's a Go Eggs. But Ashley, if you end up listening to this, I straight up thought you were upset, and I said, "Oh, I heard I pulled a cord," and I said, "I'm so sorry."
I
In my
mean,
head,
it's a good practical joke. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, that's I don't remember that, but that's funny.
just goes to show how you are sometimes a little bit in our conversations.
Well, I do believe in some astrology stuff. I definitely like to entertain it. I don't go so far as like the big 6 and 9 and stuff,
I
which
know
is like
nothing about that.
all the planets or whatever. But the big 3 is like your birthday, your sun, and your moon and rising. And your moon is like supposed to represent something about like your emotions and how you feel, and your rising is like how you're perceived by people. So like my rising is like a Scorpio and my moon is a Sag
I love you, Elijah.
and I'm an Aries.
This all went to white noise to me as you were explaining it.
That's fine. That's okay. I'm educating you.
Thank you. You
So
should
I don't know.
educate
I
me.
don't know your moon and rising,
I
but
don't know mine either.
I
All I
think
know is I'm a Virgo.
you're a
That's all I
Virgo,
know.
and like it clearly shows. You're a freaking perfectionist that likes to have her shit in order and does have her shit in order.
And that's why when I was texting Elijah, what kind of mic stand can I use? Pause. Paused for 5 hours. I'm
Yeah,
trying to get this stuff together.
yeah, exactly. And Galvin's the same as you, and like Christine as an Earth. I feel like Earth signs just really have their shit together because they're grounded. They're like we're like one with the world, like the Earth, like
I
we
think in order for me to understand this, I have to like
draw it
me
out. Think about the freaking
no.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, bro. Like
Oh, I
I
love
am a
that show.
firebender because I'm a fire sign. Like I'm driven.
But I
I'm
wouldn't know
ambitious.
what I if we're taking it to Avatar, which this is hitting home because we love Avatar. We love Aang. We love, Zuko. If you're telling me Virgo is an earth sign, you're telling me I'm tough.
Not specifically tough, but like you are like her
I felt
people.
like
You know,
I felt like
you're
I
not
wanted
blind.
of I can
You
be
kind of
there.
are blind. You
I
got
can kind of be blind. My do you know what it is right now? I have on
like
my right eye.
13, 12.
No, no. On my right eye, I'm a negative 6.50, and on my left eye, I'm a negative 7.
Oh, that's like bad. So
Which
you have
for people
contacts in
to
right
who
now.
don't, oh, absolutely, I have to have contacts right now. If not, I can't function in life. For those who don't know, with the contact lenses, like what I see, if I don't have my contacts, if you like pull out your phone in front of you, right? And if your clock digit is at a format where it looks pretty big, I have to literally bring it this close to my phone, I mean to my eyes, and it's within inches, and that's the only way I can read the time. And that's
Wow.
with the clock. That's not even text messages. With text messages, it's worse.
Okay, so yeah, you are tough.
Maybe I am tough,
Makes sense to be
but I've
honest.
always felt
You
like
got
I
like a
was
little
a
bite, but like you also are like sweet, but you also like
You know what? I'll
you're
take it because
grounded,
I
you
love
know?
tough. So then going back now with you in New York, and so you feel a lot of people should go to New York
I think
if
so. I
they're from
firmly believe.
Florida.
No, I firmly believe everyone should experience a big city move for like a few years
Does
in their
Miami
20s.
count?
No, Miami's like hell.
Miami is hell. That's why I left.
So that's why like Miami doesn't count. I mean like Chicago. I don't really stand LA at all, but Chicago. Everybody likes
But why New
Austin
York?
right now for whatever
I
reason.
like New York to visit. I
Austin?
can't see us to live there. I'm gonna say that again because of this. I like New York to visit, but I don't see myself living there, but you and we have another friend that lives out there and you guys both swear by it that
Yeah,
you guys love New York
it's amazing, bro. Why would you want how can you willingly pay car insurance? Like, not willingly because you have to have it,
because I
but like
like my comfort. I don't think I like to be around randos and maybe
but that's
someone
like the
smells
beautiful
bad
thing about the city is like being around people and like you guys are all humbled because you're all taking the same subway to wherever it is that you need to go. Obviously, like one might be working like a diner job and the other one might be working at the office, but it's like this experience of like we're still all taking
the same
the
train.
subway together, you know? And aside from that, because like obviously it's messy, it's disgusting, it can be dangerous sometimes,
There's
and there's
big
crazy
rats.
people and there's homeless people or whatever, like
Big
and
rats.
people don't like that or whatever, and rats, yes.
I'm going to say it one more time. Big rats. Not small
Big
rats. These
rats
are big
the big
rats.
rats are in like the tracks. You like don't even really see them,
But
you know?
sometimes they're out there in public.
Maybe,
Nasty.
but like it's just like a really
I love their food. I love
enticing city with a lot of culture and
mhm.
diversity and opportunity if you like want to go get it. And that's why I left Florida, man.
But what made you say, "Okay, New York and not LA?"
Because I didn't want to be on the West Coast. Like the time difference sucked. I didn't have
That's fair.
many people in LA or anywhere in California. Mauricio lived there at the time, and I had like maybe another friend that was there, but um, I had more people in New York. I was more familiar with New York
Mhm.
and like traveling, you know. So that's why I went there.
And then you thought, "Okay, I'm gonna go to New York." Did you have a game plan when you left? This
No, I
was a
went
while ago.
100% like with my savings, and I was just like, we'll see what
How much
happens.
did you have in your savings?
I had 15,000 and then I paid off my car, so I think I had 12 or
I think
13.
that's pretty good. And how old were you at the time when you left?
26.
26.
Yeah, I was 26.
I thought you were younger.
No, I
I feel
was
like you're frozen in time then with your how old are you now?
I'm 29.
Damn, you're old.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 30 soon. That's crazy. I've been
Nah,
there for
you're not
almost
old.
4 years.
You have, and you
In
still love
May, it'll
it.
be 4 years, so we're still, like, in the 3.5 mark, but it's felt like 4 to 5 years. I feel like I've really established myself there and, like, really got used to living there. My brother's there now.
Mhm.
Um,
But did you feel like back then when you had that amount of money saved up, do you feel like that was okay? That was good enough for you? Like if someone were to ask you,
how
someone
much
in
do you need to
yeah,
honestly, like, it depends on your game plan. I didn't have a game plan, so I was like, the more the better, but,
right.
like, if you have somewhat of a game plan, like, you could when I moved, it was 2021, so, like,
This is after
everything was
COVID, right? This is
this is
after
kind
or
of like
during
as
COVID.
things yeah, kinda during when things were slowly opening back up, but in New York, you had to show your vaccine card and
Oh, I remember
everything,
that. Mhm.
um, and
Felt
man,
weird for a
what a
second doing
time
that.
because there's a really famous Michelin star restaurant that
Mhm.
I was able to get, like, a
Like you
seat
ate
in.
there?
Yeah,
Oh, what's it called?
Coke. I've been there with Tony after, like, that one time that I went.
Right.
I've been
In
twice.
mm,
It's in
wait.
Flatiron in Manhattan.
Okay. And where was the second location that you went to with Tony?
No, we went when he was there in New York.
Where's the other location?
The other location's in Miami. There's only one location. I
Oh,
mean, there's only one location in New York.
okay, so point is you went to
I
this
went
restaurant.
twice is what I yeah, okay.
Wow, you're fancy going to these Michelin restaurants.
Listen, dude,
They sound expensive.
I love food, and,
Yeah, you
it was
do.
so easy to get a seat the first time. Now, it's gotten bad, like, it's expensive again, it's more expensive than it's ever been.
So,
Um,
it's safe to say that you would have to tell that person, "You need to even have more."
even with a game plan, and I mean, like, a game plan where you, like, are, like, subleasing or something, like, I would bring, like, 7K of savings just to, like, make sure you have a cushion,
Yeah,
just in case some shit
and
happens.
definitely roommates.
And you might need roommates. I live alone, though. I got a great deal. I'm very
Well, now
happy.
you live alone, which again, that's why you are blessed.
I am extremely blessed. I have a in-unit washer dryer,
Wow.
and
Whereas here, we
I
have a
live alone.
house with a washer and dryer
Yeah,
attached
but
to
how much are you
it.
paying? How much are you making,
Um,
bruv?
I'm putting my contribution to Tony, and then Tony can handle everything else. Thank you, Tony.
Um,
So with New York then, and I'm happy that you're so happy because I remember when you went out there, like it can be scary. Just you didn't have
yeah.
any friends out there. You said, I just need to get out. I need to try something new. And we made sure as Elijah's friends, as if you have a friend that's going through it, you should be that friend for them to check in and see how they're doing mentally. Because to fully go cold turkey, going out of state to a new place, new routine, can be pretty exciting and scary. But needless to say, as the years went by, I feel like you flourished into New York. And I can see that you are meant to be in New York or stay there for a while until you decide that you want to retire.
I always say that the only reason I would come back here is if, God forbid, something happens to my parents.
Well, knock on wood for that.
Um, because I really do love it out there, and I really can see myself there for, like, the long haul. I'm not the type I mean, I would love to settle, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
Well, what kind of settle? Like settle like you want to live there and like have kids or like you want
Settle
to
with, like, a partner, yeah, yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah. But, like, at the same time, I'm also very, like
driven,
I guess, but more in the sense of, like, I like to do things and keep myself busy,
right?
and in a partnership, I feel like, obviously, it's not about you anymore like that, like, especially when you have kids, at least. I guess it's more like that when you have
Well,
kids.
let's take the kids out the record because so just with
That's not
you and a
happening
that's not
anytime soon.
happening right now. Hopefully, knock on wood again.
I don't know. We'll see.
So what?
I imagine I'm like, I have
I
a
have
kid
too
on
many
the
friends right now that are pregnant,
I
and
have
I
a kid
can't
on the
keep up.
way, and I that's how I announce it. I'm like, "Dude,
I
I
have a
fucked up.
kid.
I
Oh,
fucked
that's what
up
you're gonna
and I
say.
got somebody.
That's the thing also with Elijah. When I call him and I say, hey, I have to talk to you about something, Elijah's first reaction will always be, you're pregnant.
You're
And I'm like,
pregnant.
no,
You know where
ho,
I get
I'm
that
not
from?
pregnant. And I would tell you in person, or
No,
I
you
would make,
wouldn't
yes,
because
I
you didn't
would.
tell me in person that you got engaged. I found out through
That's
social
different. I
media,
was in Europe.
which
What do you
you
want
were
me to
like,
do?
Elijah, if you ever get engaged and I find out on Instagram, I'm
Oh,
gonna kill you. And what
yes, I
happened?
will.
I found out you were engaged through Instagram. I said,
I think this is very fair. You know why? Because I didn't know I was gonna get proposed to. You know when you're gonna propose to your person.
that's fair,
So
I guess. And then Tony didn't tell me because he was like, I know you. You were gonna say something
and
by
you would.
accident.
I think
And
you
by
would.
accident, I definitely would have, like, probably.
Can't rely on you, Elijah.
Sorry, dude.
What the good thing Tony did not tell you. He told my family members, and then my family members that day were telling other family members. And I'm
That's
like,
funny.
what the heck? You can't be doing that because I get the excitement. But anyway, it ended up working out, and I'm happy that it did, and blah, 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 blah.
That's funny. He knows me though. That I love you, Tony.
But you're saying with partners, if you're going into like the media route and all this stuff,
The things that I want to do, I feel like I have a lot of projects and I always like to keep working and like be busy. And I feel like being in a partnership, it requires a lot of energy that you give and devote to that partner. And obviously, when you enter that partnership, you have such a strong desire to do that. And I know that I'm capable of doing that and being in that headspace and like wanting to serve and spend time with a partner.
and also with what you do for work, you specifically, you travel now. You didn't travel
Sometimes.
before, but now you're
Well, it's
doing it.
only like once, but there's opportunity there. And also, like, I do travel a lot because I come here a lot and I'm always seeing family or friends here.
But what I'm saying is in the media field, like now I can tap into this and relate to you. I feel like because this type of industry is so much of a network of who knows who,
Yeah.
that's how you'll get the jobs. And I feel like now that you're starting to travel, like going to LA and doing these things, I feel like your name's going to get put into the pot. And if someone remembers you, they'll reach out to you again. And that's what I'm currently going through. Like I'm having this job over here. That's my main job. But then because I knew someone from this job, they reached out to me for this other job that I wanted to learn more from. And because now I'm doing that second job, someone else heard about my name and now I'm going to do this other thing. So you get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
as the name starts spreading around and like you get yourself more out there, I just feel like the people that are in media and that are having those relationships with people who aren't in media can have a hard time understanding unless you explain it to them and they're cool with it.
Yeah. I feel like networking is a big thing in any field, but I feel like every field is also small because it's hyper focused on itself. Like
What
it's
do
a
you mean?
bubble. Like the financial field or like the tech field, like, you're gonna be constantly around like other circles of like tech people or
Right.
whatever. So like you start to be known in other markets or in other circles of people, but still within that umbrella.
Yeah.
And so like within media, like that's how I got the second job is because I
Right.
worked somewhere else and I did well there and
You
I
said
learned
we like this
quickly.
guy.
Yeah, I learned quickly and they were like, we need people and we won't have to train this person because they're already familiar with some of the workflows and news. So I'm gonna reach out.
Do you feel like that affects your dating life?
Yeah, like working in media does period. Like
Yeah.
as I would compare it. No, not I would not compare it. I
Compare it.
I don't want to compare
Compare
it
it.
specifically because it's literally not the same,
Okay.
obviously. But like people that work like overnights or like in like the like medical field, like
Oh, yeah, like nurses?
yeah, like
Yeah.
you are working these like insane hours, and
They
that's
are
just the
insane.
first line of work that I can think of, but I know that there are many others. Um, but when I first moved to New York and I worked the job for a few months, and then when I got my actual job where I work now, I was working overnights for like a year and a half.
Mhm.
7 p.m. to 4 a.m. and it was like I couldn't have a dinner with somebody or myself,
You
you know?
you make it seem like you can because I look at your Instagram and
Well,
I
on the
have your
weekends,
location
sure,
too,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
love stalking my friends. So I see
You
Elijah what he's doing.
you need help.
I need help. But I like doing that because I feel like you're safe. And then me as the friend, the mama bear, okay, all my friends are home. I'm glad they're out at dinner. Oh, what restaurant are they eating at? Oh, okay, maybe I'll go to that restaurant next time. Point is, I'm happy to know what my friends are doing because I don't need to talk to you guys all the time. And I feel like the location really does help me feel connected to you.
Yeah, you're like, "I know where he's at. Oh, he's with that girl again. Oh,
Well, I'm not going to know that. I would only know that if you tell
if
me.
you don't see that I'm at home, then I don't know what's going
Oh
on."
my heavens. But then,
I
so
don't got it like that.
I think you do.
Sometimes maybe, I don't know. But the thing with media is like, yeah, it gets funky, you can work a weird shift one day and a different shift the next, and, you have the opportunity to travel. But yeah, to answer your question, it does affect my dating life. I work too much now.
Yeah. And on top of that, you're doing your own stuff.
Oh, yeah,
So you
absolutely.
released
I'm a full-on Aries, bro.
you, whatever. Okay. Whatever that means. So you released a new song. What's it called? We love
It's
it.
it's called Fever Dream, the
And
sped
this
up version.
And I love the sped up version because did you ever send me the original, like the file?
The
Like,
original song, probably not,
point
but
is,
it
guys, we'll play it for you definitely at the end. It's a great song. I love the music video and what you did. I
thank you.
I feel like you actually gave it your all, and if not,
Oh,
there's definitely going
that's
to be
the
a lot more evolving from this.
that's the one thing I will claim is
The
that
creativity,
not even that, it's just when I'm, like, locked in, I am very, like, "This is how
Virgo.
I'm gonna do it." No, not Virgo. It's more Aries, it's like,
Okay,
I am, like, just really adamant about how I wanna do something and coming through on it, like, really just doing it. Like, if I say I'm gonna do something,
you're gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it, and it helps to, like, tell people that I'm gonna do it. Like,
Because does that put the pressure on you? Like, oh, I said something to someone, and now I
yeah,
feel like
that's
I need to
that's
do it.
exactly how I work, whereas some people don't like sharing that and manifesting it out to other people, like, they keep it to themselves because it's like, "I have to protect it and this idea, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna see it through on my time," whereas, like, no, I'm putting out an album, like, that album is gonna come out on March 21st, like,
Even if it's bad.
it's not gonna be bad, and it's gonna still come
Oh,
out.
is this you saying that you're gonna release an album? Or is
Yeah,
this you're gonna release an
yeah,
album?
yes. And that's how I work, like,
Okay. So
I've
Elijah just
known
told me right now when is this album gonna be released?
March 21st of
Okay.
2025, it's gonna be
Is
called
that
Are
your
You
birthday?
No, my birthday's the day after, so
Oh,
we're
okay.
gonna have a big, celebration
In New York.
in New York,
Thanks,
maybe in
bitch.
Florida, I don't know.
I won't be there.
Listen, bitch,
So
I censor myself all the
what
time.
inspired you to do Fever?
Fever Dream?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, I had an album before in, like, 2019, and I rushed it. I do things, it's definitely rushed.
Mhm.
I still like it, and I learned from it, but I was thinking, "You know what? These songs are good, but they need a little bit more love," and I took the album down, like, last year,
So
and
now we can't even find it if we wanna look for it?
no, the
Oh,
album doesn't exist. Fever Dream was on
okay.
that album, it was called something else, it was called Unhealthy Habits, and it was, like, the slowed down version, like, the normal
Okay.
version. So then I'm working on this album and this project that is out right now, it's called Throwaways Need Love Too, it's just a bunch of throwaway songs that are, like,
Okay.
these are fun, but they're not, like, album material, I'm just gonna put it out.
Mhm.
And
And
during the
you got your brother and Mackenzie involved in this too? Because I saw them in the video. I just didn't know if they had any hand in it producing it.
No, no, they're just in the video. I just told them the video idea one day, and I was like, "Are you guys gonna be able to be free?" And
Yeah.
I'm down, and they're like, "Yeah." And so we shot it in their basement and then in other places. Um, but so the album I'm actually working on now, like, is like the bigger project. Like that
Okay.
music video and the song I put out is just like
What's
it's
your
like a
audience for this album?
audience,
Yeah.
anybody that feels anything. It's an album
What?
about grieving. It's an album about being alone and, like, feeling depressed
But
and, like,
what's the genre of it?
it's, like, there's rock and then there's, like, some rapping and then it's, like,
Are
just
you rapping in this?
yeah, it's very 808s and heartbreaks. Like,
Okay.
you
I
know,
dig it. I haven't seen this side of
I'm
you.
singing, I'm rapping a little bit, I'm just expressing myself. That's really what it is, and, like, I lost my grandma last year and I'm living alone for the very first time because I had a roommate the whole time I was in New York, and when you're alone, you have to ensure that you're doing your chores, like you're
Right?
cleaning up and taking care of the space,
Don't be
taking
dirty.
care of yourself and cooking for yourself,
Mhm.
you know, and you're spending time with yourself too. And sometimes when I spend time alone, I'm like overthinking everything. Like
So you feel like you need to be around other people in
yeah,
order to.
100%. 100%. So when I was alone during the summer when I first moved, I was like, "Holy shit, I'm depressed." And I'm
Mhm.
like really feeling the weight of like my grandma and I had like a breakup and I was just like, "Okay."
It was a bad season that time,
It was
yeah.
a really bad season, so I was just writing a lot. I was revisiting old songs and I revisited the old song that is now Fever Dream. I added a bridge that I thought was really cool and then I sped up the song and then I was like, "This
Which
is
is a
sick."
completely different feel. None of us would, if we were to hear that song, none of us would think that that's what you were going through or that's what inspired you to create this type of song and the way you formatted it. Again, guys, Fever Dream, you should hear it out. And I feel like it's such a fun, good song that when you sent it to me that day, I was showing everyone at work. I was like, look what Elijah did. Let's play it on multiple computers so we can get the views and the
Oh,
likes.
thank you.
And then it's so funny because, again, where I work now, Elijah used to work there, and the coworkers, they were like, "This is Elijah," and I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Is that him singing?" And I was like, "Well, no, yes, but no. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's fucking sped up, dummies. But like, he's not
parentheses.
singing that fast." But they were all really happy for you, and I'm glad that you were able to push yourself to do that because, again, you obviously have a very busy life, and I feel like New York life is a crazy lifestyle. Like you guys are constantly on the move because it's the culture over there. Whereas over here in Florida, we're a lot more slow and relaxed. We have a different way of being busy. So I'm very happy for you, Elijah. I'm very glad that you got to do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I miss being here.
Don't come back. It's okay.
I have a lot of friends here, you know. I get guilty when I come here and I'm like, damn, I didn't see this person. I
Nope,
didn't see that
don't do
person.
it. Don't feel guilty because when I go to Miami, I have my friends and family, and they say, "Oh, you haven't seen me. You haven't seen." You can fucking come up to me too. You're the one
Yeah,
spending
you
the
guys
money.
can
We can,
drive.
and I've said this too as your friend. Like, I can go out to New York. I just have to figure out the time and day. So,
Yeah.
from a person to another that can relate, don't let yourself feel guilty about that.
No, I can't. I try not to, but I do enjoy and appreciate when I do get to see everyone um when I do visit because I try to space it out and
Yeah,
like
you're just so loved. Everyone wants to see you.
and it's like the and no feeling ever will compare to that because I appreciate that. Like I just saw the Pharrell movie
Hmm.
again because I've seen that once already.
What Pharrell movie?
It's like his biopic, but it's like a Lego biopic. It's
I've
ridiculous.
never heard of it, but okay, continue.
It just came out like a few months ago, but I saw it with Joshua McKenzie. Great. And then I saw it again with my parents and Jacob and his girlfriend Izzy, and it's very inspiring. And then like there's a part, and it's not really a spoiler, but there's a part where he's like getting emotional because he's like, man, like everybody wants me to win, like my family, my friends that are there for me. It's like
And you're
all of that
seeing, like, are
love.
you connecting with that character? Do you do that?
I yeah, like I Pharrell's an Aries too, man. So
Shut up.
but, like, it's very inspiring and it's humbling and it's just a beautiful thing to, like, know that there is a support system and friends and family that, like, wanna celebrate you and, like, want the best for you, and I feel like being out in New York was that. Like, when I
Right.
decided to move, like, Jose, my, like, longest friend, he likes to counter everything that I say or every idea that I have, like,
Like,
as
he
a
likes to
form of
be the
challenge.
devil advocate?
Yeah, as a and
Okay.
it's a form of, like, challenging me. It's
Which
like,
is
how
good.
can I try to convince him, like
Right.
and I appreciate that about our friendship, and when I was telling him, like, why I wanna move
Mhm.
and for what reason and just all the reasons, like, we were like, hanging out at his place, and he was just like, "Man, I got nothing to say, like, you gotta do it like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense, like, you know?"
Yeah.
And that was one of the first times where, like, if not the first time where he didn't say, like,
Challenge
"What
you.
are you gonna do if the money runs out? What are you
Right,
gonna do
right.
if blah, blah, blah?" Like, he was just like, "That's what you need to do."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Man, like, I it's solidified, like,
You're
part of the
feeling to it
process."
that you wanna do that.
Yeah, because like, friendships change and
And you guys
people
have been friends
change
for how long?
20 years.
That's a long time. Damn, Jose, you're old as fuck too.
Jose's birthday is February 23rd, so he's a Pisces ass.
Anyway, so you guys have
Anyway,
anyway, you guys have And the thing is with Jose, he is such an extremist in one way, and you are so not like him. And for you guys to be friends, and for me to see that too, I've always appreciated that friendship. And but I've also liked the fact that you can handle those types of personalities, because I feel like I can relate more to Jose. That we're very like one way or another.
You also have like a small ass circle of friends, whereas
Absolutely, and I want to keep it that
I
way.
have like way too many friends. Some of y'all getting cut off next year. I have like 4
You
weddings
better
to go
not cut
to.
me off. I'm one of them.
I know.
No, but it's good because you as your person, and I feel like you can have those conversations, and it could be so easy to doubt yourself having a conversation with someone who's like that who's always
Mm,
challenging you and being devil's advocate. Some say that that can be pessimistic, but we're trying our best. And I'm gonna say we, because again, I feel like I relate more to Jose. It's not that we're trying to be pessimistic. We want to make sure that that person that we're talking to is being taken care of, and that they thought out of everything. It's as if we're family, and we want to make sure our family is taken care of. So
yeah.
it's good that you know how to maneuver those types of conversations too, that ended up helping you out in those
Yeah,
moments.
I feel like I get along with like
Everyone.
literally everyone. I don't have to be like friends with everyone, even
Right.
though I guess I choose that route whenever I'm like my ex is like, yeah, you want to be friends?
Yeah, Elijah likes to be friends with his ex-girlfriends for some reason.
Yeah, I was having coffee with Hannah the other day, and she was like,
Pause.
"You're ill, dude. Like,
She said you're ill
you're ill.
for
You're
having
sick,
friends with your
man."
exes, for being
Yeah,
friends with your exes?
yeah. But it's okay, like that's not everyone's cup of tea. But like, it's funny that it like
Yeah,
kind of
definitely not
works.
mine.
Listen, it's not like a consistent thing either. Like, there are humps along the road. Like, like I'm not always talking to them. Like, I go periods where I'm like, they're in their own world and do their own things, and I do the same exact thing. Like,
This is
I'm in
true.
my own world. But there are also times where like group gatherings happen, and it's like now I can like hang
Talk to
out with
them.
them
Yeah.
and talk to them and catch up with them or whatever, and it's like great.
We're good. We're cool.
Listen, I like to gossip. And when we say gossip, we just mean like we're
Another
talking shit about
slang term.
life. Yeah, we're just talking shit about life. We're giving the updates of like what's going on with us, with our jobs, our aspirations, whatever. Like,
Mhm.
you know, that's how it is. I gossip with everybody because I'm catching up with everybody.
'Cause you're a hoe, that's why.
I am a hoe, but you know what? I'm a sweet hoe.
That you are.
I'm a sweet hoe, and I want that on my tombstone. Like,
I always did say that. I'm like, go through your journey of this. It's gonna be a fun time for you.
yeah, New York is something else, man. I'm telling you.
Alrighty. Well then, to give any, you know what we're gonna do first? We're gonna do a game really quick.
Oh,
This is gonna be a 5-second game. It's
I got
really
my hat
easy.
tilted to the side, man, because I'm faded.
No, he's not. So this is a 5-second game. I'm gonna tell you name 3 things, right? And in 5 seconds, you have to name those things. Sound easy enough? Yes. Just say
No,
yes.
yes, I can't even take 5 seconds to answer that
You can't even
question.
take 5 seconds
I
to
wish
process.
I had another drink.
All right, I'm gonna time you, Elijah. Ready for the first one? In 5 seconds, name 3 cities. 1, 2,
Boston, New York
3,
City, and
4.
Texas to Austin.
What the fuck was that? What did you say? Texas?
Texas to Austin. We'll count it. We'll count it.
Yeah, you get like a
Austin, New
you
York
get
City,
like a
Austin.
you get a C for that. All right,
Jesus.
next thing, ready?
3 cities. What the fuck?
Next thing, ready? Okay, 5 seconds. Name 3 car types. 1,
Altima,
2,
RSX, and
3, 4.
Camry.
Okay, good job. Good job. You're really good at this game. Okay.
What the fuck is
5
this?
seconds. Name 3 of your exes. 1,
Ira,
2,
Ashley, Juliet.
3. Damn. You
Sorry,
guys
guys.
were featured on this episode. You guys should be so lucky to have popped up on Elijah's head to say those.
Man, they're all the goats, to be honest, though.
They
They
are.
taught
They
me a
are
lot.
really. They are all really cool. I like them. Is there anything else that you want to share with anyone as far as advice, as far as anyone who has any ideas to branch out to New York or do anything
Yeah, yeah.
creatively, or just even personal stuff like self growth things?
First I would say get the fuck out of Orlando.
Don't do that unless you're happy. I mean, unless you're sad.
Out of here. Fucking DeSantis, get the out of here. Anyway, well, you know what? Mayor Adams is not that great either. But whatever. What would I say? I don't really want to plug any of my stuff because I don't give a what I will say is if you have something that you want to do, and this is so cliche, but just do it. Like you don't need
Nike,
you
just do it.
literally Nike, Shia LaBeouf, whatever the fuck, just do it. I think it's so much more, obviously my experience, but it's so much more rewarding to be able to say that like you went after something and did it, with an unpredictable outcome than to spend so much of your time trying to craft an idea or project or business model or whatever and spending years of your life not knowing if it's going to work or not. And things take time. I'm well aware of it, but I feel like there's so much more excitement and so much more possibility to grow and learn by just putting yourself out there and just trying it and see what worked, what didn't, how can I make it better? Okay, now I'm going to try again. And you keep progressing through that. But the act of constantly doing something keeps you moving mentally, physically, and like that
Just try your
ultimately,
best not to do a burnout.
yeah, just don't burn yourself out. But like I love the burnout, man.
You are toxic.
I'm a fire sign, dude. We
He
burn.
he is toxic. Well, thank you, Elijah. I love you so much. I'm so happy that we got to do this. You're
Me
definitely
too.
going to hear him a lot more on this. And where can people find your stuff?
Um, ElijahDaCosta.wave.
Yeah, I'll write that down in the you
That's
guys
where
can
all
go
my
ahead.
shit is.
Point is, look up Fever Dream.
Yes, Fever Dream Sped Up. Look it up on streaming platforms. It's out right now. It's my favorite song right now. And then, I have an album coming out. Do you have any single friends?
Do I have single friends? No. And if I did, I would not send them your way. To save everyone the headache. Thank you so much, Elijah. I love you.